Hello friends, welcome to Tech Tips. In previous lecture, you have gone through the Maven and Gradle installation. I know you have gone through many theoretical concepts, but it was needed to understand Spring Boot correctly. In this video lecture, I will go through the project structure of Spring Boot application. In this short article, we will discuss how to create a standard Spring Boot project structure or packaging structure. I will show you recommended ways to create Spring Boot project structure, so this will help beginners to maintain standard coding structure. As we have shown that whenever we create a Java project, or default the class file are saved in the default package. But whenever we are creating a Spring Boot application of industry standard, don't use default package. When a class does not include a package declaration, it is considered to be in the default package. To use of the default package is generally discouraged and should be avoided. It can cause particular problems for Spring Boot applications that use the @component scan, @entity scan, or @Spring Boot application annotation. Since every class form every jar is read, I recommend that you follow Java's recommended package naming convention and use its reverse domain name. Typical layout. Spring Boot team generally recommend that you locate your main application class is a root package above other classes. The @Spring Boot application annotation is often placed on your main class, and it implicitly defines a base search package for certain items. For example, if you are writing a JPA application, the package of the Spring Boot application annotated class is used to search for entity items using a root package. Also allow the component scan to apply only on your project. Tip: if you don't want to use Spring Boot application annotation, the @ and enable auto configuration at the @component scan annotation, that is import, defines the behavior, so you can also use that instead. Now coming to the project structure, there are many different ways to create the project structure. The first approach is to this is an example showing the project structure of the Spring Boot application. This is my packaging structure: java.net.guides.springboot2. There are different packages just like controller, DAO, model, and services, which having on their class file. My main application file, which having in @Spring Boot application annotation, is here. All the controller, DAO, model, services packages come under these packages com.net guides.springboot2. In my resources folder, I will have application properties. As I see, it is application. Here is Spring Boot application annotation, having my main class. Static content. In a Spring Boot web application, static files like HTML, CSS, JSON, and image files can be served directly from any of the following class path location out of the box. No configuration required. Let's look the resources folder in the above project structure. The directory, as the name suggests, is dedicated to all the static resources, templates, and properties. If you define the static contents in the resources folder, you don't have to explicitly define its class path, as resources static contains the static resources such as CSS, JSON, images. Resources templates contains server-side templates which are rendered by Spring. Resources application properties. This file is very important. It contains application-wide properties. Spring reads the properties defined in the file to configure your application. You can define a server's default port, server's context path, database URLs, etc. in the application properties file. By default, Spring Boot serves static content from one of the following locations in the class path: /static/public/resources spring-meta-inf/resources. By default, resources are mapped on, but you can tune with the Spring MVC static path pattern property. For instance, relocating all resources to resources can be achieved by exploring Spring MVC static path pattern resources. You can also customize the static resource location by using the Spring Resources static locations property. The root servlet context path slash is automatically added to as a location as well. Dynamic web content. Spring supports the following template engines by default. These templates can be activated using appropriate Spring Boot starters. Free marker, Spring Boot starter free marker. Groovy, Spring Boot starter groovy. Theme left, Spring Boot starter theme left. Mustake, Spring Boot starter mustake. All these templates engine will resolve their templates file from the file SRC's main resources template. This is a second way of creating a project. In this project structure, hold the controller class, entity class file, repository service are contained in Word module. You can see in the image there is a customer and order module having their entity, controller, repository and service classes. Pom.xml is a Spring Boot project. If you are let me state in this pom.xml. If you are going with Maven, then you will go with pom.xml. If you are going with Gradle, then there will be a build.gradle file. In pom.xml Spring Boot project, most of the modules can be enabled or disabled just by adding a set of starters. All Spring Boot projects typically use Spring Boot starter parent as the parent in pom.xml. Spring Boot starter parent allows us to manage the following things for multiple child projects and modules, just like configuration, dependency management, default plugin configuration. We should need to specify only the Spring Boot version number on the dependency. If you import additionally starters, you can safely omit the version number. As you can see then in the image, we have overridden the Java version to 1.8, override default Java version from parent. Specify only the Spring Boot version number on this dependency and omit the version number for additional starters. Yeah, we do not need the Java version number, then omit the version number. For a maintainable code, only add needed starters. This keeps the application lighter. An unwanted starter may lead to extra auto-wired beans. Most of the starters ship with their own transitive dependencies, so you may never need to specify versions. Most of the IDEs already highlight these unwanted version tags. Know your starter dependencies. This way you may never need to write configurations. Now let's look at the Spring Boot web application with having JSP pages. If you are creating Spring Boot MVC web application using JSP as views, then following diagram shows a typical project structure layout. As a best practice, I strongly encourage placing your JSP files in a directory under the web.inf directory, so there can be no direct access by clients. This is a Spring web application project structure. Here we have put JSP pages in web.inf.in JSP folder. That's all. I think I covered almost all the points regarding Spring Boot project structure. In this article, let me know if anything needs to be added. I suggest either of this structuring your project code works well. If you have any suggestion about the above approaches, then leave your comments in the comment section of video. Only add needed starters. This keeps the application lighter. An unwanted starter may lead to extra auto-wired beans. Thank you for watching it. Stay tuned for future lectures.